Hello and welcome. My name is Alan, and I've got a few stories here for you as some of the news for the last day of January the 31st, 2023. Uh, I, like I usually do, these are pulled straight off of Reddit, out of world news, politics, so on and so on. First story we have here is one I completely agree with. I've been saying for a long time. Want to reduce the debt? Tax the wealthy. You know, unfortunately, we've got too many leaders that are like, nope, can't tax the rich. We're just going to have to cut, programs that help the poor and middle class. Because, the rich are rich. We leave their much more money alone. Usually money they haven't actually earned. But, they have. So, yeah, we could do so much if we just tax the wealthy. I know many people don't realize it, but there was a wealth tax under Eisenhower where the wealthy paid at least 90% on taxes, I think, over like so much. You know, and that brought America wealth. At that point, we were booming as a nation. Now that we've allowed the rich to just take their money and not have to do anything with it, you see how bad things are getting in the US. We saw the same thing during the original Gilded Era. When the rich were like, no, I don't pay taxes. You work for me as a member of government, not for these peons. It's exactly how they thought. And unfortunately, that's what we're back to. Tax the rich. Next story. Block. Oh, yeah. Um, I don't care. Anyway, there's a poll on Newsday here. Um, I think they said it was like 78% of voters in District 3, the district George Santos won. 78% of the voters there believe Santos should resign. You can't just lie on everything and expect it to be okay. Anyway, now, yeah, Bernie Sanders, senator from Vermont, says a $14 per hour minimum wage is not going to do it. We've been fighting for $15 per hour for so long, it's no longer a viable amount. But again, we're at a point where the rich don't care. It's all about them, all about making their money. They don't care about actually taking care of workers and everything. But yeah, uh, it has been well over a decade since there has been a federal minimum wage increase. Even with the major jump in inflation and increase in cost of living. So yeah, Bernie Sanders uh, explains why, despite the fact that many companies like Walmart are raising their minimum wage, a $14 per hour rate, it's not going to do it. It is not too much to ask the wealthiest country on earth, where we have massive income and wealth inequality, people on top doing phenomenally well, to say that in America, if you're working 40 hours a week, you're not living in poverty. 14 bucks an hour is just not going to do it. You know, I think I started the lowest I remember the wage being in my lifetime was 4.25. It went to 5.15, and then we had the two-part raise, so now it is $7.25. So I'm already over 40. I have seen only a $3 bump in pay from the time I was a kid to what it is now as a minimum wage federally. And it's just wrong. Completely wrong. And Bernie is correct. $14 an hour as a minimum wage is not going to do it. We need more money for as a minimum wage for workers. You should not be working 40 hours a week in a job and be in poverty. No, that should never happen in a country like America. Anyway, next story we see here, U.S. says Russia is violating key nuclear arms control agreement. This worries me because we may be heading down the road to nuclear war. Ukraine should not have to fear about attacks from Russia, but Russia should not be doing the attacking. But they're still, despite all the pushback they've received, they're like, no, we are going after Ukraine. You're making little to no progress. Just bow out peacefully. But no. And now, whether Russia is or is not violating a key nuclear arms control agreement is not the point. Because it sounds like, to me, what's going on is the military industrial complex wants a war where they can make more money. This is why I say we need to nationalize all of the companies who make profit off war and weapons. All the Northrop Grummons, the Boeings, Johnsons, Raytheons, Honeywells, uh, all of them. Any of them that make money simply because they make weapons of war, they should be nationalized. So they work solely for the government and they don't have push like they do now to push for more wars so they can make money. Because your job when you were founded, I'm sure, was not to make money. But it is now. It's ridiculous. Last story we're going to look at. Canadian province tries decriminalizing drugs to fight overdose crisis of opioids. I think they said the group was British Columbia. Yeah, Vancouver area. Vancouver's in British Columbia. So yeah, the Canadian province of British Columbia on Tuesday began a 3-year pilot program to stop prosecuting people for carrying small amounts of heroin, meth, ecstasy, or crack cocaine as part of an effort to fight a drug overdose crisis. Because guess what's causing the crisis? It is opioids. And because they are profit makers for companies and are not illegal, I think there is a they're searching for a way to prevent so many people from overdosing on the opioids. By going, okay, we have less reason to turn to them if we have some of the other drugs. As long as they're done, you know, within an area to be safe, um, have access to healthcare if anything happens, I think that's perfectly fine. I've stated my point before that I believe there should be a decriminalization of drugs in America, and make it, you know, a healthcare based thing. You can go to a facility where it allows you to take the drugs, but also to stay out of trouble because you have doctors, nurses that would work there and kind of watch over you. Two, it's a lot better than some of the drug houses, flop houses. You would be in a safe facility, a clean facility. And number three, you don't have to worry about doing certain things while drugged up out of your mind because, again, you have people there watching you to protect you from yourself and you from hurting others. That would make perfect sense. But of course, there's some who don't care about perfect sense, common sense. No, they're like, you do what we tell you, cause we know what's best for you. Doc told me. No. it should be about humanity, not your religious ideations. But yeah, that will go ahead and end the news for the day of today. I want to thank you all for watching. See you all in the next episode. Until then, later.